To provide you today with a tool that really can make all the difference in your communication with men. So you might find yourself really frustrated with men repeating themselves and their stories over and over again. You're getting bored, you're getting frustrated, or maybe he's repeating how he's going to solve a problem for you and you're thinking, okay, I don't need all the details. Or maybe he's even sharing the minute details of things you're not very interested in. So I'm Dr. Kelly Martin Shue, Amazon best-selling author, speaker, and transformational coach for women. And today I am going to teach you a 30-second rule that really can deepen your communication and your connection with men. You see, men and women, we are quite different in our communication styles. And we also just think differently, which is totally awesome because there's values in both. And I really support women who are committed to creating partnerships. You know, you can be in a relationship, but to be in a partnership is a totally different thing. And it requires different skill sets. And so when I speak of partnership, I'm really speaking of two people coming together and creating something really beautiful. And so with that is a willingness to better understand our mates. And so today we're going to be talking about some of those gender differences, and really specifically in the more heterosexual relationship, but some of these would apply in also same-sex partnerships, because there really is nothing like deepening your communication. So without further ado, let's dive into the material. So one of the things I want to talk about is how men are very singular focused. And what that means is they really do excel in solving problems. You give them a problem and they're excellent in creating a solution. So the way their mind works is they generally have a target. And if we look back to primal days, that target, maybe in the hunter-gatherer population, target would be, slay the dragon and bring it back home. So men are very singular targeted in their mind processes, are more singular target, whereas women, we are more what we call diffuse focus. So we can know anything and everything that seems to be going on at the same time, and it doesn't make us as effective. But I think that we're designed that way because of our ability to watch the children and also take on several projects at one time. So we are taking a lot of information in all at once. It actually also decreases our efficiency. But with that, we're really connected to feelings and also the ability to take everything into account. So let's talk about men repeating themselves over and over again sometimes, or repeating their solutions. What they are trying to do, there's a good reason for this, is what I'm trying to say. And it can be really frustrating because as women, we don't tend to repeat ourselves. In fact, sometimes we'll start a story, you'll hear women start a story and they'll say, oh, I hope I hope I haven't told you this story before, and if I have, just go ahead and stop me. You'll hear women say that. I know I do that myself. It's almost like an embarrassment not to repeat a story. So generally women don't. Men, on the other hand, in repeating something over and over again, they have purpose behind that. And listen in. That purpose is to either teach you something in that repetition, or they are trying to really provide you with something. So for example, in my personal life, we recently had to have contractors come in and fix our basement, because whenever it would rain really hard, we've been dealing with this for a while, it would let water in. So I have needed to be really patient with my husband as he's described to me over and over and over again the process of how they're going to make the basement dry. And for me, it's like, oh my gosh, we're not going to go through this again. But that's because I've learned to practice the 30-second rule. And in him repeating himself, what he is trying to communicate to me is that he's got this handled, that he's going to get this fixed. And that is him providing me with a solution. Okay, so that's one way men can provide for us, is they want to make sure that we know that they have our backs. All right, and when we can come from that perspective of like, oh, my man is really trying to communicate, he's got my back, he cares about us and our household, like, what I can do then is to sit back a bit and be really present. And so this has been a conversation that's been going on for a while. And so here's the 30-second rule in this type of dialogue, is literally as your man goes about repeating himself, we haven't gotten to stories yet. This is more about the problem solution. I want you to begin to count to 30. What's really cool is that often in counting to 30, without interrupting him, it's so easy to interrupt. Say, oh, sweetie, I got this. I've heard this. Don't interrupt your man. Allow him to go. And often in counting to 30, he will complete his thought process. And in doing so, he will feel heard and often appreciated. And let's just say that it goes a little longer than 30 seconds. I want you to start thinking about, in his sharing, what is he trying to provide for me? Or what is he trying to maybe teach me? Okay? So I want you to start getting curious about the repetition. I'm going to talk about another kind of repetition I often hear women share with me, is the repetition of jokes and stories. Jokes and stories. Now, when men are in courtship, you know, we women often love their stories and we love their jokes. And then when you've been with them for a while and you're out, maybe you're out with friends or whatever, and you're hearing it again for the umpteenth time, it's like, please, do we need to hear this again? So let me tell you the reasoning behind that. So the reasoning behind that is that they are looking to re-access the feelings of the story. So maybe that's feelings of laughter. Maybe it's feelings of being a hero. Maybe it's feelings and a teaching that they're really, that's really in alignment of something that they really value in life or that really matters to them. So you can learn a lot about a man by the stories that he's sharing with you. And if we can start to get more curious around, wow, what feelings is he trying to access? Or what is he really trying to teach me? We can have a much deeper appreciation for the repetition of that story. So, you know, when a man shares, and especially if you have asked for his input and he is sharing his input with you or trying to solve a problem, remember, singular focus. And so if you give him a problem, his job he takes on very seriously, which is to give you a solution. And so in that problem solution, he will need to go from the beginning to the end, and us as women hold the space. We can do this. We are so good at it if we just take some deep breath and provide the space for our mates, for our men, for our boys even, to just share into that space without interrupting. Because when we interrupt them, it diverts their energy and it's really frustrating for them. And often they will get to their point or get to the end in a more timely manner if you stop interrupting them. And if you provide the space of love and compassion that this man is trying to possibly get some of my needs met, he's trying to provide for me, or he's trying to teach me something, or I'm really through these stories, I have insight into his values. You know, when I coach women, I coach a lot of women that are single, looking for their mate, or as I'm now starting to share, looking for their king material, the long-term partnership. And looking at what you value in life is really important before you get out there in the dating world. So in learning to create this true listening, this space of appreciation for these men in our lives, or men that might come into our lives, it gives us the opportunity to learn more about them. So to wrap up, just a couple things here. Number one, if you find yourself in that space of here he goes again, 30-second rule. Count to 30 seconds or count to 30. And often that will be enough. In fact, I've discovered more recently in using this and giving my man that space, he feels really heard and often really appreciated by that presence, And I get to step more into appreciation instead of frustration. So that's the first thing. 30 seconds, ladies. You can do 30 seconds. Sometimes it's going to require a little more. But start to practice this level of presence. Here's what I know. As women, we do this for women all the time. And what's different, what can be different, is that we can be all over the place. And so the conversation can go from here to there and here and there, and we're tracking and we're doing this. So it's hard to get bored, right? And so anyway, men are singular focused. They have an outcome. They have a purpose. So give them that space. 30 seconds. Second thing, don't interrupt. And so if it takes more than 30 seconds, give them more than the 30 seconds. And then finally, get curious. Start thinking in terms of, what is this man trying to provide for me? What solution is he trying to fix from a problem? What emotions is he wanting to maybe relive and bring you into? What does he value? What matters to him? And I'll tell you, it's a game changer. It really is a game changer. And it's something I myself have to practice and get to continually practice and notice those differences in men and women and how we communicate. Here's the other thing that's really interesting about how men and women communicate is that, and I find myself doing this all the time, we'll just start talking. Well, as the mind kind of is starting to chew on something, we'll talk it out. We'll talk it out. We'll see how we feel. We go round and round and up and down and all over the place. And through talking, we discover often our own solutions. And so I know that I am definitely a verbal processor. I don't necessarily have a point, right? And so I can be all over the map. And I do that quite fluidly with my friends. So just know, men, singular focus. They like to stay in their lane. They like to be heard. And so I encourage you to provide that for your man. And here's the benefits. He's going to be heard. He's going to feel heard. He's going to feel more appreciated. And it's a game changer. You'll actually feel more connected. So this is your challenge this week. 30-second rule. I'd love for you to comment in the comment boxes on something really simple. And that is, are you committed to exploring the 30-second rule with your partner or your boyfriend or on a date, or even the men in your life, brothers, husbands, sons, and just start to explore what this 30-second rule could do for you in your communication. Hello, Kadiga Snow. You're so welcome. All right. Signing off, ladies. If you want more support in dating and connecting with men, please book your Irresistible You free coaching session with me so we can really explore how can you be more fulfilled in life and love and partnership. And you can go to the link above in the explanation of this talk today. And I look forward to joining you next Transformational Tuesday, same time, same place. Dr. Kelly Martin Shue, Amazon bestselling author, speaker, and transformational coach for women. Thank you.